Okay, so here's everything I got at this month's Do or Diecast meetup in Tewksbury, so June 2025. Here's all the stuff I scored. This Japanese 1/200 scale bucket truck. This thing's awesome. It says Electrical Work Company. It's pretty funny. So generic. It's one of those Japanese made toys. This is from Germany. This particular one, I believe it's a Siku. Siku V337. I mean Germany, the plow comes off. I'm not going to take it off because I'm gonna mess with it, but the dump body works. And that V-plow goes up and down. Then we've got the Mibi toys, Hot Wheels, Can-Am Ferrari, 512 technically is, I believe, what this would be. That's got its own video I already made. I haven't uploaded it yet. And then we've got the Airstream trailer made in Hong Kong. Love stuff from Hong Kong. Fun fact, I know I've said this before on this channel, Hong Kong actually has capitalism included in their constitution. So they are very pro-West, awesome little island. And it's too bad China's bullying them into trying to force them into communism. It stinks. FC toys are pretty awesome. Robert, Scale Dreams on Instagram, helped get me into these. I was always into them, but I found out more from him about them, and then I researched them, and it's pretty cool. They're made by, in many cases, handicapped people, so it's government jobs for people who need a little bit of a hand, maybe. Give a sense of purpose to somebody who's got a handicap or special needs. I believe it's a little bit of both. The Solido, so this is a reproduction, but I love DS's, and this is a DS-19 from 1956, which is wild that this car came out in 1956. Beautifully done. Even the front valence, everything's nice on this. No side view mirror, that's my only complaint. But that's a nice model. Show you this go around. I like that the rear window is down. Or front window, excuse me. Driver's side window is down on this one. How cool is that? It's a pretty cool, quirky 50s car. Anyway, getting back to the rest of this. So then we've got this guy, which is, I've bought a lot from this series recently. This is from the UK. They all say made in England. Pretty awesome. Pretty neat. Get that. Got this one. I'm gonna open in a second. I don't know about these days, people who are into Formula One. I don't know how many of them can appreciate the old vintage Formula One stuff, but the Tyrrell P34, which is a 6-wheeled car with 2 little mini wheels on each side, so 4 wheels up front and 2 axles up front. That's a pretty awesome one. Love it. Great concept. This is a treasure hunt. Scrap that. And then I had no idea that John Force had a Pontiac for a while there. He drove a Pontiac Firebird apparently. Looks like a 68 to me. Doesn't have the rear marker lights like a 68 should. Or the front marker lights, but it also doesn't have vent windows, so I don't know. I guess it's a 68. Yeah, 68. There we go. I mean, the Firebird came out in 67, but whatever. Anyway, little pig. Pretty cool. John Force is a cool guy. Obviously, if you know drag racing, you know John Force. Some KB toys back in the day. Alright, so this is pretty cool.
You would visit my grave every day and do.
So the Imperial Japanese Navy Yamato was the biggest battleship ever made. Like, ever. I don't think they've ever surpassed it, even now, in terms of tonnage. I don't think it's ever been surpassed. The Bismarck was cool, and it got a lot of, garnered a lot of attention. A lot of effort was made to sink it. The whole thing with the Bismarck and HMS Hood is a fascinating story, but anyway, and there's the Prince Eugen, and there's all this. I'm not into Japanese and naval stuff as much as most World War II people, but this is cool. I had to grab this. This is pretty awesome. One of the ways you can tell that this is the Yamato is by that wide bow in the front. Looks like a duckbill or something. So that's pretty cool. And then of course it has the catapults with two planes in the back. Pretty neat. This thing was ridiculous. Like I remember reading something about just one of these turrets, along with associated hardware and all the stuff that went to inside the bow, the support structure and everything else, I believe weighed almost as much as a small American frigate or something like that. Maybe a small destroyer. It was wild. Pretty cool. Alright, so last but not least is this. Alright, so this thing is the Yamato here is 1 to 120 scale. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 to 1200 scale. These Herpa tend to be 1 to 500 or 1 to 400 scale. And this thing is awesome. So this is a real plane with real livery that flew back in the day. It's very nice. It's heavy duty. It's metal, except for the tail fin that Marge is on there. It's mostly metal. Very nicely detailed. You can tell it says Herpa right on there. Herpa wings. Pretty awesome. Flown on a lot of 737s over the years. I'm not sure if I've flown on a 737-300, but probably. But this thing is just wild in terms of the paint job. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's a weird, quirky kind of thing. I thought about just taking photos of it and not buying it. Just documenting it in terms of just kind of documenting it by taking some nice pics of it and maybe looking for it down the line online or whatever. But I don't think I would have gotten it cheaper than I did. It's pretty cool. And the fact that it was a real livery on a real plane, that's hilarious to me. Marge over here is on the tail of an aircraft. And I said last but not least, I forgot about the Ford. Forgot about the Ford Semi. Let's look at that one real quick. This thing's pretty cool. Early semi truck. This one is supposed to be hauling barrels of oil, but literal barrels of oil. Before we developed modern tankers, apparently this was not that uncommon. So yeah, these guys do a really nice job, this British company. Solido PLC, exclusively for Chevron. Made in England. Yeah, that's a neat little semi-truck. The early days of semi-trucks. That's a cool one. I love it. Something different.